On February 3, 2026, Disney made an announcement that looked safe on the surface, but might actually be their riskiest bet in decades. Josh D'Amaro is officially taking over as CEO, and the press releases are making it sound like a smooth, exciting transition. But here's what nobody's saying out loud. This is the second time Disney has handed their top job to a parks executive. And the last time they did that, it nearly destroyed the company. Here's what the official announcement won't tell you. Dana Walden, Disney's Hollywood veteran, was widely considered the frontrunner for this job. She had the creative experience, the studio relationships, and the content knowledge. But she lost. Why? Because Disney's board looked at the numbers and made a cold, calculated decision. Parks generate 40% of Disney's total revenue and up to 70% of their profits. When your company is bleeding money on streaming and box office disappointments, you don't hire a creative. You hire the person running your only guaranteed cash machine. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. Every single price hike you've experienced at Disney parks over the last 5 years, that happened under D'Amaro's watch. Tickets crossing $200 during peak periods. Free Fast Pass eliminated. Magical Express to Disney World canceled. Lightning Lane prices quietly climbing year after year. His strategy has a name inside the industry: yield over volume. Fewer guests, spending significantly more money. And it's worked financially. But here's the question nobody in the mainstream press is asking. If the guy who built that pricing structure just became CEO, what exactly do you think happens next? This is the part that should genuinely concern longtime Disney fans. Under D'Amaro's leadership, there's been a very clear philosophy emerging inside the parks division. If an attraction doesn't tie directly to a major franchise, it's considered a liability. Rivers of America, Tom Sawyer Island, Muppet Vision 3D, all reportedly on the chopping block. Imagineers who have spoken anonymously to industry outlets describe a growing frustration with what they call the franchise mandate, original concepts getting killed before they even reach development. And now that same philosophy is about to be applied not just to the parks, but to everything Disney touches. Disney is calling it the largest parks expansion in company history. $60 billion invested across new lands, new attractions, new cruise ships, and a brand new park in Abu Dhabi. And on paper, it sounds incredible. Villains Land, Tropical Americas, Monstropolis, these are projects fans have been waiting years for. But here's what gets buried in the announcement. Every major expansion in Disney history has come with a cost, and that cost is almost always a beloved classic attraction that quietly disappears to make room. Here's where D'Amaro's vision gets really interesting, and honestly a little unsettling. Disney has already dropped $1.5 billion into Epic Games, the company behind Fortnite. They've partnered with OpenAI on content generation, and industry sources suggest D'Amaro sees gaming and digital experiences as Disney's next major revenue frontier. But think about what that actually means. If gaming becomes Disney's priority, theatrical releases start looking expensive and risky by comparison. If AI starts generating Disney content, what happens to the animators, the storytellers, the creatives who built this company? D'Amaro hasn't answered those questions publicly, and that silence is telling. Josh D'Amaro takes the helm on March 18, 2026, and his first 100 days will tell us everything we need to know about what Disney is becoming. Will he prove that a parks executive can protect Disney's creative soul while growing the business? Or will history repeat itself the way it did with Chapek? Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to say out loud. Bob Iger handpicked him, which means this isn't D'Amaro's Disney, this is the Disney Bob Iger always wanted.